Okay, everyone, welcome back to Game 2 between Gazelem and NotMike. This is the MSL Code B Quarterfinals, and NotMike is up 1-0 in this best of 5. So here in the bottom left-hand corner of Daybreak LE, we have the now green Terran player, NotMike. His opponent, up here in the top right-hand corner, is the red Protoss. So seeing a little bit of a different matchup here, because remember, both of these players are rolling random, and that makes for a lot of interesting games. So here we go. First pylon, not going to be taking this relatively easy to protect natural. However, with both players playing random and no scouting, this is very safe. You'll be able to finish a wall in case something like a 6 pool is coming up. However, against Terran, generally walls are not as super amazing. It's simply because they have all ranged units, and then you just lose your buildings at the front. Because if they want to, they can shoot behind here anyway. Because they have magic bullets, they can shoot up and over top of pylons, things like that. So, I think it's probably just the Gauss rifle of the Marines. So, very standard play so far. We'll be expecting to see that gateway on 13, and we should see a gas geyser on 14. Both of these players understanding what their respective races are supposed to do. We do see the 13 gas going down from NotMike as well, which means we will see some relatively early tech out of NotMike. But what this really means is that you're actually not going to see a macro, of a solid, super heavy macro game. Basically, either command center first, or one rack's fast expand, like a gasless fast expand. Those are things that are very typical. Looks like the gas geyser going down a little bit late for Gazelem, but perhaps this is all part of his plan. So any units popping out immediately, looks like he's going to be holding off and instead continuing to mine. There goes the cybernetic score. 2 men in gas. I'm not entirely sure that they're men. They are, however, SCVs. So, production going on. Just talking about the map for a moment here. We do have, remember, this is Daybreak. This is a map that started in Wings of Liberty. It's been a very, very popular map throughout many different tournaments. Its main distinguishing traits are the fact that this high ground is actually pretty easy to defend. There's not a lot of surface area down here for other units, for enemy units to get a huge concave. There could be a bit of a concave, but there's not this big empty side like Cloud Kingdom. This is all also right on the low ground, like this is right up next to here. And so if you're playing Protoss, you have to blink around. Sadly, this SCV probably not going to make it out. Oh, gets pinned in by 2 probes. Sad way to go. The other thing, pretty easy to take natural. It's a relatively small choke. You build your command center or nexus right here, and then 2 or 3 buildings, and then you can defend it pretty well. The interesting thing, though, becomes where do you take your third? This is usually the third, and most people usually take this as your fourth. And also note the tons of different attack paths here in the middle of the base of the map, and all of the different expansions you have available to you. So generally, if you are a meching Terran player, you want to expand more towards your opponent, whereas if you're bio, you want to expand a little bit more all over the place. 3 racks going down. It's apparently to catch up to the 4 more gates that Gazelem has. So this has been looking like a 4-gate build from the beginning, other than the fact that this gas was late and this gas was late. The chrono boosting, saving up chrono boost and spending it all on warp gate research is a very big tell. This proxy pylon's a little bit far away. This is essentially, like, I mean, this is longer distance than Agria Valley or some of the other really small maps. I would prefer to see it a little bit down out here for your first one, or maybe out here, or out here. However, all the 5 warp gates. Just something to say, on one base, you cannot support 5 gates for very long at all. If you have a little bit of a bank, you can spend that, but the 4-gate in and of itself, a perfectly executed 4-gate, actually runs itself out of money. You have 2 or 3 warp-in cycles that you're able to actually utilize all of those warp gates continuously. And when I say continuous, I mean that's even with stopping probe production and stuff like that. So if you're constantly warping in as fast as you can, you should go broke really, really quickly. However, NotMike also not following the standard and has 5 racks. So it's a 5 racks versus a 5 gate on one base. Same thing with Terran. You generally can't support more than 3 racks on a single base. The little tidbit for everyone. Sad SUV is stuck here by this really dangerous looking fan. That's really easy to fall in right there. Nope, he is now being put back to work. It looks like another pylon. Is Gazelem going to be taking a ninja expansion? I'm not entirely sure what's going on here. Generally, for a 4 gate, you'll see the 4 gate hit right around 6.5 minutes. Ooh, this could work out well for Gazelem, though. NotMike does leave his base. Look at the food supplies. Almost exact. They were identical. Army values, almost exactly identical. This could be really interesting. So if NotMike gets cut out on the map, this could be really bad. Where's Gazelem going to go? Is Gazelem running... Gazelem's running back to his base? No, he's going to go back to the main base of NotMike. This will make it really hard. He has nothing here to defend. He has a Zealot and a Stalker. That will not be enough to defend against this very large army. Although he might be able to do a lot of damage back here at home. It could turn into a base race. I know that everyone loves base races. So, let's see what's happening. Okay, so NotMike does in fact see the units at his base. Does he retreat? No. Oh, and Gazelem running back up. A little bit confused here. We do have finally a closer proxy pylon. It looks like NotMike is just saying, you know what, I have flying buildings. Let's go ahead and try to do a base race. Gazelem's units are so far away. It does not... They are retreating home. They are running home. He did warp in at home and is now running in. That front pylon is now taken out. Now it's a 5 gate. The mothership core should run a photon overcharge. Instead, it's going to be focused down immediately, and this is before all the units can get back. And now it looks like NotMike is once again going to have defender's advantage in his opponent's base, which is a little bit ridiculous. The giant concave against this really small choke point. Now all of the warp gates have been depowered. That was an Artosis pylon, if I've ever seen one. And the Zealots here are able to let the Stalkers here do a little bit of damage, but now there's just no way that the Stalkers are going to be able to prevail against an army of this magnitude. They can't repel firepower of this magnitude. Anyway, for those of you that enjoy Star Wars and Admiral Akbar, hopefully that made you chuckle. If not, then I hope that you enjoy something else as much as I enjoy Starcraft and and Star Wars. So it looks like here a little. Okay, now we're seeing the kiting action going on against these Zealots. NotMike has a lot of units very injured, but there's simply not enough unit producing power from Gazelem to really be able to get back into this game, and it looks like he will go down. And here's a little spoiler for everyone. This is actually the last game of the series, for whatever reason. This is a best of 5, where I only have 2 of the replays, but given they're both a win for NotMike, I'm going to assume and say that NotMike was the victor of this series. And we'll move on to the semifinals. So excellent job there, NotMike. And good luck, Gazelem, as you fall down to the losers bracket. I feel like these games were very close. They're a little bit stagnant at times. This game was a lot more exciting than the other. And I feel like if there's anything that could be worked on for both of them, it's getting the right ratio of unit-producing structures and buildings. Last game, NotMike went for a very long time with a relatively low number of unit-producing structures and instead got a huge bank. This game, they both decided to build too many structures for their economy and then are both relatively broke. So, good game. It was pretty close. I feel like mostly this one was won by the decision from Gazelem to come and return and retreat, when instead I think he probably should have taken a base race. So, anyway, we are going to go ahead and get into the next series.